Hey guys, today on People Now. Hello, Facebook Live.
The only person that knew was Josh and my mother. There's the only two people that I told in those first 12 weeks.
Katherine Heigl's baby joy.
We are taking you inside the star's first interview with People since the birth of her baby boy.
How Brad Pitt is moving on after Angelina.
Dan Aykroyd's touching tribute to Carrie Fisher.
Taco Bell is here, and we are trying out their new naked chicken chalupa.
And Hungry Plus.
Okay, so you twist them together.
You cross them and then one goes under?
One goes under.
Okay.
And then you do that again.
Do you really know how to tie your shoes, people?
Well, this little boy has mastered a technique that has racked more than 6 million views already, and he's sharing his foolproof tips with us this morning from Texas. Happy Hump Day, everybody. Welcome to People Now. We're streaming live on People.com and Facebook Live. It's a big day in the People Now studios because we are going to be trying Taco Bell's new naked chicken chalupa live. Let's hear it, guys. Everyone in this crew, they haven't been so excited for something in a long time. It's a taco that has a shell made of fried chicken. What will they think of next? I have no idea, and I don't even care because this is so good. In honor of it, we want to know, what is your favorite guilty pleasure? All right? It can be anything. It's our question of the day. Tell us your answers in the comments below. We will get to those a little bit later in the show. But first, here's what you need to know and what's trending today, beginning with this.
We waited a long time. We waited the 12 weeks that the doctor recommended. The only person that knew was Josh and my mother. There's the only two people that I told in those first 12 weeks. And then finally, when that day came on the calendar and it's like, okay, it's been 12 weeks, I kind of just told everybody all at once. I was so relieved to get to share it. And the girls were the first, and they were very confused at first, because for them it's like, what do you mean I don't see a baby, I don't have a hint of a baby anywhere, what do you mean you're growing a baby? They kind of got used to the idea, but for them it was so out of sight, out of mind. Until I started getting so pregnant, it was hard to ignore.
That's Katherine Heigl talking exclusively to People all about her life with new baby boy Joshua Bishop Kelly Jr. and how she broke the news to her family about her surprising pregnancy. Katherine is gracing the cover of People this week as she talks about her unexpected first pregnancy, how life has changed since the birth of Joshua, and relocating from Hollywood to Utah. Katherine and husband Josh Kelly, who recently celebrated their 9th wedding anniversary, have quite the big family already. Heigl has 2 daughters she adopted, Nayli and Adelaide, as well as her 15-year-old niece who is living with them. Katherine's mom even lives nearby and is a frequent visitor to the Heigl-Kelly household. So would Katherine want more kids? Well, she tells People, I still want more children. I'd get pregnant again, and I still am very inspired by adoption. I also have been thinking a lot about fostering. It's all up in the air, and I'm okay with that. The family is loving their new life in Utah after relocating from Hollywood. Katherine saying there's a different way of living here. Heigl experienced emotional highs and lows postpartum, saying one minute you're weirdly obsessed with this baby, like don't take him out of my sight, and the next you're kind of blue, you're a little sad and a little freaked out. I actually prefer the adoption way because I wasn't subject to hormones. Adjusting to her new body has been a challenge as well for Katherine. She gained 40 pounds during her pregnancy and shared that she froze her placenta, which she has been eating in pill form for its reported nutritional properties. Heigl even opened up about her challenges with breastfeeding, saying, you think every mammal on earth has to breastfeed, I'll be fine, right? But it was a little complicated, and my boobs just got so ginormous, it was horrifying. That's the quote. My wife and I actually went through that too. It's not as easy as it looks sometimes, and it's something a couple needs to work through. All right, for more on the exclusive interview with Katherine Heigl, make sure to pick up a copy of People on newsstands everywhere Friday. Moving on to this, things are looking up for Brad Pitt. In this week's People, a Pitt source reveals that the actor has been in a better place since he and Angelina Jolie reached an agreement to work out their divorce privately. The source telling People he seems to have a more positive outlook. Things seem much better now. After the bitter end of his 12-year relationship with Jolie in September, Pitt initially agreed to weekly supervised visits with their 6 kids, but the source tells People he can now spend more time with them, saying this: he seems much happier. He has missed his kids terribly. The kids are his whole world. It's all he cares about. Pitt has slowly begun stepping back into the spotlight, making a surprise appearance at the Golden Globes and recently attending a charity benefit alongside musicians Sting and Chris Cornell. As for Pitt and Jolie, the source says the two seem to be doing their best to move past their hard feelings, saying this: Brad really wants to get along with Angie for the kids. What it ultimately comes down to is that he just wants to be with his kids. Now on to Dan Aykroyd. He is remembering his dear friend and former fiancée Carrie Fisher in an emotional tribute to the late actress for the March issue of Empire magazine. The pair met when Fisher hosted Saturday Night Live in 1978 and fell in love filming the movie Blues Brothers. Aykroyd writing, "I grew up as a simple Catholic kid from a government family in Hull, Quebec, so you can imagine how much of a privilege and honor it was for me to have known this one-off, broke-the-mold woman as a great friend." Aykroyd also reveals the hilarious gift Fisher gave him when they got engaged, writing, "Contemplating marriage, I gave Carrie a sapphire ring, and subsequently in the romance, she gave me a Donald Roller Wilson oil painting of a monkey in a blue dress next to a tiny floating pencil, which I kept for years until it began to frighten my children." Aykroyd and Fisher's relationship ended when she left him for Paul Simon in the late 80s. Carrie Fisher married the Bridge Over Troubled Water singer on August 16, 1983. Aykroyd writing about the split, saying she was also in love with Paul Simon. She married him, but I hope she kept my ring. And in the essay, the Ghostbusters star also remembers some of his wilder times with Princess Leia, describing a weekend that they spent on LSD when they were still together. Aykroyd writes, "At this point, our love was soaring on laugh-filled exhilaration and a vibrant, wholly satisfying physical intimacy, having obtained some original Owsley," I think is how you say it, which is a nickname for LSD, from our friend Tom Davis. We flew up to Reno, rented a wagon, and checked in for 3 days of full-on weeping to Christmas classics. Certainly one of the planet's greatest occasions where LSD was a factor. I cannot imagine being a fly on the wall or just a person around anywhere to see any of that. For even more sweet and amazing memories of Carrie Fisher, head to people.com to hear more from Dan Aykroyd.
Interesting stuff there for sure.
Yeah, what a romance.
I know.
Wild romance.
I know. Let's check in with Facebook Live. Loving the comments. Almost time for us to try Taco Bell's new Naked Chicken Chalupa. We're very excited about it. So we want to know, what is your favorite guilty pleasure? And Laura says peanut butter and ice cream. Want some now, which I agree, because peanut butter is my favorite.
Vinny says, my guilty pleasure, eating sriracha covered almonds while watching season 3 Gilmore Girls reruns.
Yeah, that's
perfect.
Amazing.
And amazing visual.
Linda says banana cream pie. That's really
That does
good.
sound good. And here's what else got you guys talking so far. Nancy loved hearing from Katherine Heigl. She says, welcome Joshua to the Heigl family.
Cute. And Sarah agrees. She said, so very sweet.
And keep those Facebook comments coming in, guys. We want to check in with you a little later in the show. But first, Andrea, you have even more trending news for us.
I do, Jeremy. Well, authorities in Utah have released this incredible footage of a semi-truck trailer being hit by a double-decker passenger train. The collision happened on Saturday in North Salt Lake, Utah, and the Utah Transit Authority is investigating why the crossing gates were in an upward position when the train got to the intersection. Thankfully, the 82 passengers on the train and the 2 people in the cab of the semi-truck were not seriously injured. But the collision sent pieces of cardboard boxes from the FedEx trailer flying into the snowy air. Such a crazy video. Our thoughts go out to everyone involved in the accident. All right, moving on to this. Tonight's episode of TLC's My 600-Pound Life follows 38-year-old Kristen Perez, who struggled with addiction issues her entire life. Well, in the episode, we learn about Kristen's destructive past, but we will see her determined to lose the weight, which is holding her back from living the life she wants.
The new show Hunted, where everyday people attempt to avoid being captured by a team of highly skilled investigators. We just sat down with 2 of those investigators who answered some of our burning questions about how much information we are really sharing through our mobile devices. Hunted is our Toyota People Pick of the day.
The best way to disappear?
Yes.
I would say drop everything and run as fast and as far as you can. Because you got some, pretty intense manhunters chasing you in this program.
It sounds like a drone. That's a drone.
They can run, but they can't hide.
Is it possible for someone to disappear today? I mean, I guess that's the challenge here, right? There's so much of a digital footprint. What turns out to be the biggest challenge in preventing it from being possible?
I mean, put this into perspective. You got 18 ordinary people, 2 moms, some friends, a husband and wife, and they've never been fugitives. You got one guy that was arrested 13 times. He's now a criminal defense attorney. He's part of the show, but they're ordinary people being chased by, manhunters. The folks we have downrange have been doing this forever.
It's so funny. I feel like you guys, you're the pros, but you're like, oh, that's cute. They try to get away.
It is kind of like that, isn't it? Yeah, nice try.
But watching the show, we see security cameras at intersections. I mean, did you or team have access to all of this? What did you have access to?
We had access to anything you would have in the real world. I hunted people for the past 3 decades, terrorists, murderers, the worst of the worst. So whatever I did in the real world applied to the show.
What do people need to do? Practical tips to not be looked at when you don't want to be looked at. What do you say?
I say use a virtual private network proxy server, and there's services that are $10 a month where you just click on an app to turn it on. It's really easy. And then think about using encrypted apps. I myself like to use Threema for texting or Signal for texting and phone calls, and those can be some great ways to maintain some privacy and security, and you don't have to be a geek or a nerd to actually use the technology.
So just encrypted apps even for texting.
Exactly.
Right.
Oh, it's making me so nervous.
I'm telling you, you better cover up your camera on your phone.
Is this...
And I have covered the cameras on my computers at home and stuff forever.
Because you are, yeah.
Cover those cameras. You can never be too careful. Stay with us, guys. Britney Spears giving us workout goals, and Taco Bell is getting us really hungry this morning. We are about to try their new naked chicken chalupas in just 30 seconds. I cannot wait. Stick around.
This is King Cutie in people. His Royal Highness Prince George Alexander Louis of Cambridge. These are George's parents, George's home, his Nana, the Queen, and his staff of 644 Englishmen. This is George's dog Lupo, who inspired his favorite book, The Adventures of the Royal Dog Lupo, one George will share now that he's a big brother. People. The details make the story. Don't miss this week's People.
Well, things are about to get a little X-rated in the People Now studios.
That is not true at all. Someone wrote that, and it is not true. But Taco Bell is bearing it all, everybody, with their new naked chicken chalupa. Big hand for the taco. It is in Taco Bell's nationwide tomorrow, but we are lucky around here, and you are too, because you get to see us eat this. We're trying it now live in studio a day early. Of course, it wasn't hard to find members of our staff. We twisted their arms. They came in here. Let's dig in, see what you guys think. Facebook Live. We want to know what you think of the look, the feel, and the idea of this. The shell is made of chicken, filled with lettuce, tomatoes, cheddar cheese, creamy avocado ranch, my favorite.
So good.
Charlie?
Yeah, what do you guys think?
The ranch sauce is amazing.
For everybody.
I think the shell is so great. That's like the cool part about it.
And all for breakfast. It even works. Oh, by the way, this is spicy, and I love it. Look at that. Look how lovely that is.
A little spice to
little fire sauce will really give it a kick. Yeah, so it's breaded chicken, guys. That is not a normal like tortilla or anything of that nature.
Yeah.
They have broken the mold.
I know. It's very exciting. We're going to keep eating our chalupas here, but you can try it yourself tomorrow.
One more big round of applause. Let's go. Come on.
Try it tomorrow in Taco Bell's nationwide. For now, check this out.
The characters, Kenny and Mike, they sort of become bros over the course of time, right? There's this real bond, this camaraderie. Would you say that happened for you and Matthew to some degree? I mean, were there times when you're not shooting, you're in Thailand, you're wherever you are, and you're just hanging?
Yeah. I mean, that we had to do that. You know, we were there. You know, we were there in a very remote location, very far away, and we were lucky to really hit it off and become good friends, and we had those bros moments, and that really helped the film, you know.
For sure, yeah.
So and it was beautiful. It was a beautiful process.
What's something that we would be surprised to know about Matthew?
About Matthew?
Yeah, given all that interaction you guys had.
That he could be very quiet. I mean, there are moments where he could be very. I mean, people think that, you know, by the nature of many of the characters that he's played, and also because he's a very extroverted and outgoing person. Which is nothing but being generous. I mean, he's a very generous person, you know, and that he's never quiet. That he's talking all the time, and no, I mean, he could be very introspective and very quiet and very thoughtful, you know. So I think that the people tend to think that he never stops, and actually the opposite. He's a very, very profound, very deep person, you know, with very deep thoughts, and there were great moments where we would just share the moment in silence.
That's really nice.
We would be on. Sometimes we would take, you know, moments in the canoe, just going on the river in complete silence. You know, we would be just there. I mean, we would share just the moment where we were waiting for, you know, for the sun to come up or for the rain to stop. We were just there sharing the silence.
It's that time again. The stars are on the move, and we're following them in today's edition of Star Tracks.
Burgerlicious, so delicious. My body stay vicious. I be up in the gym, just working on my fitness.
Well, looks like Britney Spears is working on her fitness. Yes, the 35-year-old mother of two is making us all want to get back to the gym after posting this workout video on Instagram. The pop star can be seen doing some biceps and squats with her trainer. I think it's safe to say the girl can work. Mama is looking good. And speaking of being a mom, Britney also posted this adorable pic of her two boys, Sean Preston and Jaden James, with the caption, "The socks," followed by some laughing emojis. These two are so cute and certainly growing up very fast. And while we're on the topic of adorable kitties, Dream Kardashian looks like she's having a great time hanging out with her super cool aunties. The 2-month-old daughter of Rob Kardashian and Blac Chyna spent some quality time with her dad's side of the family while on a visit to Grandma Chris's house in Calabasas. And that smile is too cute for words. The famous sisters even dressed for the occasion, rocking matching burgundy loungewear for the family bond sesh. Looking good, ladies. Besides Kendall, who was in Paris for Fashion Week, the entire Kardashian clan gathered to hang with Little Dream, including Rob, who popped up on sister Kylie's Snapchat account. The two can be seen getting silly with some hilarious filters. It's no secret that Rob is smitten with his new baby girl. The 29-year-old first-time dad recently posted this Instagram about his daughter, writing, "She is the best. I love her so much and I thank God every day for her because she is the best and she is my best friend." I love that. Well, great to see the entire Kardashian crew together and happy. All right, moving on to this. In this week's issue of People, Luke Bryan is opening up about family, music, and our favorite country couple, Blake Shelton and Gwen Stefani. The 40-year-old That's My Kind of Night singer recently traveled to Mexico for the Crash My Playa Country Music Festival, enjoying some sun, relaxation, and a whole lot of music. Yes, this year marks Luke's third time hosting the 4-night concert series, where he headlined 2 of the 4 shows. Other notable performances came from Little Big Town, Blake Shelton, and yes, a surprise performance from the ultimate girlfriend, Gwen Stefani. Luke, who's been friends with Blake for many years, opened up about the super cute couple, noting how Gwen has no trouble fitting in with her boyfriend's Southern crowd. He tells People, "I think Gwen is enjoying learning more about us country people, but she totally fits in and has a blast. I think they're excited to be on vacation in Mexico, and we're happy they have the ability to enjoy themselves." What a great friend, and pretty sure it's impossible to not have fun with these country boys. And just so we get a little more of the bromance, Gwen will be joining Blake and Luke on this season of The Voice. Luke will be serving as one of Blake's trusted advisors, so we certainly cannot wait to see the trio's dynamic on this upcoming season. If you want to read more about the country star who will be performing the national anthem at this year's Super Bowl, make sure to pick up your copy of People on newsstands everywhere Friday. And those are your Star Tracks for today.
My name is Colton, and there's a new way to tie shoes.
How old are you?
I'm 5, and I have a loose tooth. So you pull this, and then see this hole right here?
Let's look. Which hole?
Right here.
Okay, and what do? Oh, you stick the end in there?
You stick the end in there.
Okay.
And then you're gonna go loop. And then
what do you do with that
you
side?
do that again.
Okay.
That's my dad coming in.
That's your dad? Okay. Hopefully he'll be quiet for our video. Okay, and then what do you do? Let's see. Can you turn your foot towards the camera a little bit? Okay, cool.
Okay, so you twist them together.
You cross them and then one goes under?
One goes under.
Okay,
and then you do that again. See, I gotta...
Don't try to go too fast.
And then it's a double knot too, and then you pull this out.
So it's double knotted and tied.
I learned that from my friend River.
Well, there it is. You learn something new every day on Facebook, and that's Colton Lillard blowing all of our minds with a new way to tie your shoe. And since his mom actually recorded the video and posted it on Facebook, Colton's shoe tying lesson has received over 6 million views. Pretty amazing. Colton and his mom Ashley are Skyping in with us this morning all the way from Texas. Welcome, guys. Good to see you. Thank you so much for joining us. Ashley, I saw you wiping away a little tear earlier. Look, I'm in tears too because I have been struggling with the old way of tying my shoes this whole time. Colton, I want to talk to you though. Your friend River taught you this. What did you think when he first showed you this epic new way of tying the shoe?
What did you think? I thought it was awesome.
Me too. And so did like 6 million other people. Ashley and Colton, were you surprised with the response to the video, Ashley? I mean, over 6 million views on Facebook. What has the feedback been like from your point of view?
It's been crazy. I mean, we've heard from a 50-year-old woman who had a stroke and can now tie her shoes. We've heard from thousands of parents. I've had messages. It's been amazing. I have chills. I mean, it's been awesome.
That's very cool. Ashley, as a mom, obviously you got to be very proud. Ashley and Colton, I'm a dad of 2 little girls. I think maybe I need to be able to teach them to do this. I've actually got a shoe right here. Our producer John has one of the nicest shoes I've seen in a while. Maybe he's worn them out. I don't know. But this is the one we're going to try. I'm doing it. I want you to tell me if this looks good to you. Here it goes, going in. Now here's the key, guys. You tuck the. Are you so far you feeling good, Colton? And then we do this, right? We just tie the 2 bows and then do it again. My gosh, I think I've done it. And just like that, boom, tied.
You did a good job. You can now teach your children.
I can now teach my children. I didn't know I needed a shoe tying hack, but I did, and it's amazing. Colton, now that you've mastered tying shoes, do you have any other tricks up your sleeve? Maybe brushing your teeth or zipping your jacket? Any secrets that we should know about? No tricks so far? When you have another trick or another life hack, you let us know first, okay?
Do that?
All right, we're super proud of you, Mom. Super proud of your camera work, too. We got all that we needed right there. Thank you so much. Colton and Ashley, good to talk to you. I will never go back to tying my shoes the old way. Not ever, ever again. Thanks so much, guys.
Bye. Bye.
This is Jennifer Lawrence in People. This is Jennifer photobombing Taylor Swift. And Sarah Jessica Parker, and Liam Hemsworth. This is Jared Leto in People, photobombing Anne Hathaway. And Reese sneaking one in on Sophia and Joe. This is Dustin Hoffman, photobombing the dame herself, Judi Dench. Proving that while we all love the fashion of the red carpet, it's people who steal the show. People. The details make the story. Don't miss this week's People.
That's Think a Little Less from country star Michael Ray, who is now out on the second leg of his perfectly titled Think a Little Less tour. We recently sat down with Ray where he opened up about his whirlwind year and revealed one of the most memorable moments he had with music great Darius Rucker. Plus, he talks about how he handles all the newfound lady attention with his longtime girlfriend. Watch this.
Our first night on the Good for a Good Time tour was us, me, Dan and Shay, and Darius. And,
Darius Rucker.
Darius Rucker.
Previously Hootie.
Darius Rucker. Previously Hootie and the Blowfish. And so anyway, we go back out, and I've never played that arena, that amphitheater in Tampa. And so all my family's there and stuff, and a bunch of buddies are there, and he brings us out to do Hold My Hand, and I'm like freaking out. So I'm like, dude, I used to do this in high school, like an hour and a half down the road, And so he would sing a song, I would sing part of it, and Dan and Shay would do it. And so he would always give one of us crap when the other one was singing, So he was like, pulled my ear. He's like, hey man, I have my in ear, and so I pulled my in ear out. And he said, man, can you believe we get to do this for a living? And it just blew me away. I mean, so many of his who has success, and he's just one of the best guys I've got to know, one of the best artists I've got to know. And I just took so much away from that, going, if this guy after this long of playing to so many people still gets that excitement.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like still gets that. I don't want to lose that. And it's just every day, anytime I'm tired or you know what I mean, or anything, if you're having just a bad day, I go, man, I get to do this.
Right, just like appreciating it like for what it is.
Yeah, man, I get to do this. So that is something I've said to myself so many times since that.
Yeah, that's great.
It's so cool to hear too. So obviously you're a huge hit with the ladies. You have a pretty strong female fan base.
So we hear.
Yeah, but you have a serious girlfriend, Carly.
Yeah.
So how does she deal with all the attention and you being gone and everything with that?
She's great. She knows she's got me wrapped. I think that helps with the
locked in.
Yeah, but one thing that I always try to do is keep a regular schedule of like calling and talking on the road, and try not to go too long without being home. Sometimes that's hit or miss, you know what I mean? So, but FaceTime and iPhones definitely,
Thank God
make
for
it easier.
FaceTime.
Thank God for I'm not signing postcards anymore. You know what I mean?
Right.
Or ever.
So when you get back from your tour, what does your typical date night look like with Carly?
It depends on what we're doing. Depends, how long I've been gone to. Sometimes, we'll hit up. Sometimes it's just chill. It's just kicking back and grilling steaks on the grill and listening to music and drinking some wine at the house. Sometimes it's hanging out with our friends at Tin Roof, in Nashville, whatever. And then, once in a while, I think it's always good to have that nice date night, and go to a nice restaurant. Nashville's full of just unbelievable food and great restaurants. So, but honestly, I think just because I'm gone a lot, like our biggest hang is just at the house.
I was gonna say that, especially if it's been a long tour, the whole Netflix and chill has never been more appropriate.
Yeah.
He's a fun guy. All right, guys, well, let's check it back in with Facebook Live. Our question of the day was, what's your favorite guilty pleasure? Lots of responses here.
Yep. Naomi saying, the naked chicken chalupa looks so yummy. I have to go get a couple this morning. Well, tomorrow. But
Tomorrow.
yes.
Okay. Monique says, my guilty pleasure is chalupas from Taco Bell. Well, how appropriate.
It's a good day for them. Donna says, cheesy garlic herb bread.
that's
That
good.
is amazing, especially like late night snack.
Yes.
Brush your teeth. Yes.
And here's what else got you guys talking. Rebecca says, we watched the first episode of Hunted last night. We will watch again.
Yeah, that show is
really
actually
cool
getting a lot of buzz. Brand new show, and you should check it out. Liz loved hearing about Dream Kardashian. Liz writes, beautiful dream with a heart emoji.
Very cute little face. Loretta says, oh my goodness, baby's getting big fast.
Yeah, a lot of Luke Bryan fans out there. Naomi writes, Luke Bryan came to our school a couple years ago. Very cool stuff.
Really, really cool.
Yeah.
Marla writes, love me some Luke. Seen him almost 100 times.
Sandra writes, I love to watch Luke and Blake. They have a lot of fun, and I enjoy their banter. Can't wait till the new season of The Voice starts. Me too.
And a lot of love for Colton's shoe tying hack. Tiffany writes, thank you, Colton. My autistic son struggles with this. Not anymore.
See, helping people out. A lot of words of encouragement from Kristen from My 600-Pound Life. Michelle applauds her for being brave enough to share her story on TV.
And Linda says, it's a hard battle. I'm beating it now. Prayers for you.
Yeah, all right, guys. So many comments, and we thank you so much for joining us on Facebook Live and joining in on the show. Coming up tomorrow, Rebecca Romaine is dishing on her new Hallmark movie, Love Locks, that she stars in with her husband, Jerry O'Connell. Plus, Andrew Zimmern is stopping by to make us try some very bizarre foods.
A lot of trying foods.
I'm happy with that.
I'm happy with that.
Bring in
Some of the bizarre,
every
I don't know.
morning.
Well, thanks for watching. For now, we leave you with one last thing from Olympic gold medalist Lori Hernandez. See you tomorrow.
Bye, guys.
Hi, I'm Lori Hernandez, and this is one last thing. The last time I laughed so hard I cried was when we were all on the tour bus for Dancing with the Stars, and we were all singing country music together. It was pretty funny. The last song stuck in my head would probably be Ed Sheeran's new song. Yay! My last big splurge was probably cheesecake we had for one of our dancers' birthday.
Hey YouTube! Don't forget to like this video and leave a comment if you enjoyed it. And for more people now, click on the subscribe button down here.
And check out more great video right now by clicking on one of these links.